This is FilmBookCast.
FilmBookCast.
FilmBookCast, the official podcast of FilmBook. Get ready for the latest in film news, TV show news, and theatrical reviews. FilmBook's podcast starts now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to FilmBookCast, the official podcast of FilmBook. My name is Chris Banks. If you're tuning into FilmBookCast for the first time, what I do on this podcast is discuss the latest film and TV show news. I also review an in-theater film. You can find more FilmBookCast podcasts on film-book.com by using the search term FilmBookCast. You can also email us at podcast@film-book.com with FilmBookCast in the subject line. Let's jump right into movie news. American Underdog, the Kurt Warner story, has released that Dennis Quaid has been cast as Dick Vermeil, the St. Louis Rams coach. American Underdog, the Kurt Warner story, is about Kurt Warner's journey from stocking shelves at a supermarket to becoming a two-time NFL MVP, Super Bowl MVP, and Hall of Fame quarterback. If you're a fan of James Bond, you'll be waiting a little bit longer, as Daniel Craig's final James Bond movie, No Time to Die, has been delayed again, with the film now slated to hit theaters October 2021. Here's hoping that No Time to Die sees the light of day in October of this year. Let's jump into TV show news. This exhilarating crime family drama revolutionized Italian TV and is now poised to do the same for HBO Max. Gomorrah is based on Roberto Saviano's Gomorrah, A Personal Journey into the Violent International Empire of Naples, organized crime family system. A deeply reported expose of the Camorra crime family syndicate has ruled the neighborhoods where Saviano grew up. The dynamics of the Camorra is a series of clans that are in constant evolution. Naples' organized crime is diametrically opposite of the Sicilian mafia. It's not based on family. It's not based on blood. It's not based on loyalty. It's not based on blood oath. It's based on shifting alliances and convenience. In Italy, the audience for Season 4 premiere surpassed that of Game of Thrones. You can check out the first 4 seasons of Gomorrah on HBO Max today, and stay tuned for the prequel and sequel film in the works. Michelle Pfeiffer has been cast as Betty Ford in Showtime's anthology series The First Lady, with Suzanne Bier also signing on to direct the entire first season. The premium cable network announced Thursday. The series is described as an exploration of the lives of America's charismatic, complex, and dynamic First Ladies, according to Showtime. The first season will center on the 3 former occupants of the White House: Michelle Obama, Betty Ford, and Eleanor Roosevelt. Pfeiffer will play Ford, the First Lady of the United States from 1974 and 1977, who set a precedent as a politically active presidential spouse and is described by the network as one of the most candid First Ladies in our history, commenting on every hot-button issue of the time. Ford was known for speaking publicly about her battle with alcoholism and substance abuse. Viola Davis will play Michelle Obama. In other TV news, HBO has put into development a series adaptation of Tales of Dunk and Egg, a prequel to Game of Thrones based on George R.R. Martin's series of fantasy novels. Tales of Dunk and Egg is one of a handful of new Game of Thrones prequel projects that are floating around at HBO, as the network is aiming to have multiple Game of Thrones universe shows on air. Joining prequel House of the Dragon, which is a straight-to-series order and is expected to debut in 2022. Set in the world of Martin's A Song of Fire and Ice, on which Game of Thrones is based, the series will follow adventures of Dunk, Sir Duncan the Tale, and Egg, the future king Aegon I Targaryen, some 90 years before the events of A Song of Fire and Ice. The project is in very early development, and a writer has not been yet attached. HBO declined to comment. House of the Dragon was the second Game of Thrones prequel to receive a green light, following a project written by Jane Goldman which went to pilot starring Naomi Watts, but was not picked up to series. They were among a half-dozen different prequel projects that were in development for HBO. Except for the House of Dragon, there are others from that batch that did not go forward. Let's jump into TV show trailers. NBC released a trailer for Young Rock, which focuses on different chapters of Dwayne Johnson's life. From growing up in a strong and resilient family to being surrounded by the wild characters of his professional wrestling family to playing football at the University of Miami, Young Rock will explore the crazy roller coaster that has shaped Dwayne into the man he is today and the larger-than-life characters he's met along the way. Watch the trailer and check out Young Rock February 16th on NBC. Apple TV has released a trailer for Season 2 of the alternate history space race drama For All Mankind. What if the space race had never ended? For All Mankind, an Apple original drama series that season 1 is already available on Apple TV now, comes from producers of Outlander, Star Trek, and Battlestar Galactica, told through the lives of NASA astronauts, engineers, and their families. For All Mankind presents an aspirational world where NASA and the space program remained a priority and a focal point of our hopes and dreams. The season 2 trailer highlights the tensions that are upcoming in season 2, and check out the trailer on Apple TV+. HBO has released a trailer for part 2 of the special episode of Euphoria. The second special episode of the Emmy Award-winning HBO drama series Euphoria will receive an early premiere on HBO Max beginning this Friday, January 22nd. Titled Fuck Anyone Who's Not C-Blob, follows Jules over the Christmas holiday as she reflects on the year. The trailer is very tender. I'm very much looking forward to seeing this episode. Let's jump into movie trailers. From director Mona Fostfald and written by Jem Shepard and Ron Hansen comes the film The World to Come, starring Catherine Waterston, Vanessa Kirby, Casey Affleck, Christopher Aubert, and this powerful 19th century romance set in the American Northeast. Abigail, a farmer's wife, and her new neighbor Tally find themselves irrevocably drawn to each other. A grieving Abigail tends to her withdrawn husband Dyer as free-spirited Tally bristles at the jealous control of her husband Finney. When together their intimacy begins to fill a void in each other's lives they never knew existed. The World to Come's trailer is beautiful and I cannot wait to see this movie. It's coming out in theaters February 12th and at home March 2nd. Netflix just released a trailer for a film called I Care a Lot, starring Rosamund Pike, Peter Dinklage, Eliza Gonzalez, Diana West, Chris Messina. A crooked legal guardian who drains the savings of her elderly wards meets her match when a woman she tries to swindle turns out to be more than she first appears. This trailer is so fun. I cannot wait to see this movie. It's very quick and biting and funny and relevant. Netflix is having a very strong year this year. In Brothers by Blood, small-time Irish crooks Peter and Michael Brooks are not siblings but cousins, although there's no shame in feeling confused in the somewhat convoluted Philadelphia-set crime drama. Loyalty comes deep as we get a sense of a family in crisis set in 90s Philadelphia with conflicting gangs, Irish and Italian. The film came out today, and you can watch it. Check out the trailer for Brothers by Blood. You can watch it today. For this week's movie review, let's dive into Promising Young Woman, starring Carey Mulligan, Bo Burnham, Alison Bray, among many others. It's directed by Emerald Fennell and it's written by Emerald Fennell. It just came out in theaters, and I'm happy to report that it's probably one of the best movies that I've seen this year. It's witty, it's funny, it's a page turner in a movie, so it keeps you locked in. And I just want to say at the fore, Carey Mulligan does an amazing job playing the lead. The movie opens with it feels like a testimonial to how insane being alive and being a female is. In some ways, it's a testimonial to power being a woman. Margot Robbie and Carey Mulligan helped produce this film, so I think it's a cultural moment for us. I think it's a really big film. I think disappointing that it's happening now because more people should be seeing this movie, because I feel like it is written, what it is based in, you are dropped into a dynamic, right? A power dynamic. We're all in the midst of a power dynamic when we are alive, but women have to deal with so much more than we do as guys. And this is true for all of time and for the rest of time. Maybe, hopefully not. This movie gives you a sharp window into the insane reality that is being a woman in this country. And it's really not about this country, it's worldwide, because it's even worse in other countries. Before we dive into the plot line, the soundtrack is amazing. The songs in this movie complement the movie so much and adds to the sense of just funness, and it's powerful. The film is powerful, the soundtrack is powerful, the acting is powerful, the writing is powerful, the storyline is powerful, everything is powerful. What happens in the film is powerful. This is a spoiler-free review, but from the very beginning, we get a sense of this powerful woman, this force, this certain focused force that she's also guarding something, right? Carrie's character, we get a tease of the fact that she had a best friend, or maybe she was a sister, but there's obviously something that Carrie's character is on a pursuit of, right? And we as a viewer get dropped into those objectives in like a beautiful way. Emerald did an amazing job directing this movie. The flow of it, the pace of it. Bo Burnham is hilarious in this movie. His role is very interesting, but he's very funny, very witty, very good performance. And Carey Mulligan absolutely murders this role. She is so good. She is so good. She eventually meets a guy who we as a viewer get a sense that she actually is liking. So we follow her, who is normally guarded, but who is opening herself to this new love, this new male romantic interest that she finds. Wait till you see what happens with that relationship. Wait till you see what happens to the dynamics between those two people, Carrie and Bo's characters. It's an amazing film. Laverne Cox. How can I forget Laverne Cox? She is amazing. She is amazing. Her role, the relief that she plays in the film, really complements and adds to the beauty and magic of the film. But with Carrie's character, we always sense a disconnect between her and the outside world. Why is that? She doesn't really, we get a sense of her that she doesn't follow the leader. She never wants to settle. She definitely doesn't want to be fake. So what is she doing in this film? Wait till you see. What happens to a life's potential? That's the question that I've come away with this film with, right? How do we as humans navigate the potentials of life, right? When we get ourselves in a vulnerable position, we give up our power. And this movie it's extremely powerful. I can't really underscore how powerful this movie is. And it will make you mad. It will make you mad because it's supposed to. And if it doesn't make you mad, then I probably have to sit down with you and have a long conversation. Setbacks define our lives. I don't know anybody who just flies to the top or flies to whatever goal that they have in life or realizes their dream in an easy way. I don't know anybody, right? So what do we do when we have setbacks in our life? Do we make those setbacks? Do we let those setbacks define our life? Because we get a sense of Carrie's character allowed her certain setbacks to define her existence. Her parents are begging her to get her life together, to wake up in a way, to do something. But we also get a sense of why Carrie doesn't want to do what her parents wants her to do. You know, it's really, wait till you see the movie because it's so well done and it's a very relevant and needed film, and I'm very happy that Emerald made it. I think what I leave with this film the most is in life, when you do something wrong with a capital W, right? When you hurt another person, when you inflict pain on another physically, that debt, the universe makes that debt hang over you. You almost can't escape it. You end up doing other things that add to the debt. But we get a sense of Carrie has allowed this debt, right? This pain that she has held on to her whole life. She's allowed it to define her life. In the film, we go on a journey with her about how she settles that score, how she gets even with a system that fundamentally doesn't understand her, right? Our laws were written in the 18th and 19th century for the most part. Present day circumstances, the facts of 2020 just don't align with that system. That system needs to be updated. Basically, with social science, to allow these atrocities that are presented in a film like Promising Young Woman to never affect another young woman's life. That's how we make sure that this film means something. Go check out A Promising Young Woman. It is a fantastic ride. It's funny. You will not regret seeing it. Thank you for listening to this episode of FilmBookCast. You can find more of my work on film-book.com. Just search for Chris Banks or FilmBookCast. You can also find me on Twitter. I'm at CBanksy. That's SEE Banksy. And I'm on Instagram at the Chris Banks. THE Chris Banks. If you listen to this podcast on iTunes or another podcast service, please rate and review this episode. If you're listening to this podcast on our YouTube channel, Film Book Podcast, please like our video, subscribe to our channel, and leave us a comment in the comments section. It really helps people discover our podcast. Please also consider becoming one of our patrons on Patreon at patreon.com/filmbook. Your support helps us create more engaging content. You'll find our Patreon link below in the description. If you want to tweet about this podcast, please do. Just use the hashtag FilmBookCast. Tune in next week for the next episode of the FilmBookCast. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you then.